Hi everybody, it's me, Jordan here. Now you know how it's like for Thanksgiving Day or Thanksgiving dinner and how everybody has, some people have relatives from out of state or out of county or out of locally come over, or they have people, you know, or they, for some people, might watch football or whatever the case is. Now, Jordan said, Thanksgiving being the holiday in the United States and also in Canada and multiple other North American, South American, European, African, Asian, Australian countries. Um, the one thing is, Jordan says, one thing that we do, and I'm sure a lot of people do this, is we go around and we say one thing that we're thankful for. Jordan says, it usually starts out like this, since I'm the oldest, to be like, Jordan, what are you thankful for? Be like, I'm thankful for being born in the United States. And I'm thankful for my health. And mother thankful she immigrated to great country United States. And I was grateful that I was able to change my evil ways. Now, a lot of people are going to say that the story behind the holiday might differ from country to country. That is true. Now, as far as the United States and Canada is concerned, their version goes like this. Now I'm going to give you a little brief version of it, and maybe some people might be able to elaborate more on it, but it comes more from journals and tests than anything else. Now, a lot of people, North America was discovered by multiple different people. Leif Erikson, Christopher Columbus, John Smith, um, and other groups of people. But the people who immigrated, who discovered, well, they didn't discover, but people who went to North America to settle it permanently were a group of European Englanders who felt that the way that England's royal government, province government, county government, local governments were running, that they didn't have enough privileges or rights. So they thought if they went somewhere else, colonial-wise, they would have a little more freedoms. Now, some people call them pilgrims, and the term pilgrim actually means someone who travels from place to place. They travel long distances, and yes, they did travel long distances. A lot of them, actually, so a lot of them died from starvation and dehydration. Others died from disease. And this was just getting to North America. This wasn't actually getting there because it would, and the death toll was already big. And then in those days, when you sailed, and this was from the early BCs to maybe around the late ADs, when you sailed, it was a long journey. You had to do either you were paddling or you were going by air. So, by wind. So when they finally do get there, it's winter, give or take, and a lot of them die from hyperthermia. So right off the front, they lost more people. And they tried their best to make homes. They tried their best to find food, and they weren't doing very well because they were very unprepared for what was. They didn't bring enough supplies with them, and they didn't have enough know-how to know what they were doing when they got there. So they were just going by what they saw and what they heard and what they had on them, because a lot of stuff they had on them came with the boats. And the natives were kind of cautious, I guess. Well, not all of them, but some of them were. And some of them decide to got curious enough to meet these foreigners. And over time, they befriended them, and they started teaching them how to hunt and how to, grow their vegetables and fruit. And this went on for a long period of time, and they were very grateful for their friends, and they got to know them, and they talked about their cultures and their religions and their politics, whatever the case might be. And eventually, one day, they decided to have a celebration of thanks, um, to thanking God for all the good fortune that came across them, especially after all the hardship they had to go through, not just leaving England, but also sailing, getting to North America. And they invited their friends over, and stories go that the first Thanksgiving was a long, long week celebration. It wasn't just one day how it is now. So, and in a nutshell, how the first Thanksgiving holiday, well, how it was celebrated. And anyway, yeah. So Jordan said, I know that there's a lot of different things people do. You know, the one thing I always do, Jordan says, and that's what I do. So that's about it for me. I'm Jordan, and I'll see you tomorrow.